I don't even know what this one's about. I just want to see what it's about. This is Rob Schitt. You guys know Rob Schitt tonight. Who the title of this one is "They Are Wrong." Periods after every word. On Rob Schitt tonight. Rob Schitt tonight. He's a shit thief, apparently. I think that's supposed to be a dividing line, but what an odd choice. Okay, I don't even know what this is about. Let's find out, shall we?
Day 20 of Putin's violent assault on Ukraine. President Zelensky conceding that NATO membership is off the table for his country.
It's clear that Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We understand it. We are adequate people. We have heard for years about open doors, but we have already heard that we won't be able to join it. It's the truth, and it's necessary to admit it.
Yeah, no. They're going to join after. They can't join during the fucking war. They can't join when they have a border dispute, and they can't join when they're in the middle of a war. They can't join currently. They can't just hop into NATO while they're being attacked. That's what he's talking about. He recognizes that. You can't create a NATO no-fly zone over a non-NATO country because it will ratchet up the war. It will, we don't, leap in front of other countries' bullets at the last minute. Membership has its privileges because you got to join. Now, it's not Zelensky's fault that they didn't join a long time ago. That was Yanukovych, arguably Poroshenko a little bit. But they're definitely going to join after this. But it's got to wait till after. Meanwhile, they're getting supplies.
Well, sadly, that concession so far has not stopped Putin's invasion. It doesn't seem like it will. And tomorrow morning, Zelensky will deliver a virtual address to our Congress. He'll likely beg for a NATO no-fly zone again and probably some jets and more aid. The NATO no-fly...
By the way, Biden is sending drones, the really good ones. The Bayraktar ones, the ones that they get from Turkey, are pretty good. But the ones they're getting from us can hover for like a week and fly around until they find a target and then pow.
Zone, however, is something the White House has said will not happen.
Right.
A no-fly zone would be escalatory, could prompt a war with Russia.
So earlier today, Joe...
By the way, Rob Schitt, you're supposed to go, yeah, that's right. That it would.
Biden signed the spending bill authorizing $13.6 billion in aid to Ukraine. You can see it there in the box. Another bill packed with goodies for special interests.
It's the budget, fucko.
Of course, which is the real reason Democrats look so happy at these bill signings.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. Did Republicans not look happy at all of Trump's? He always looked happy, like holding it up like, that thing, I put my name upon it. I put the name upon the thing.
All of their favorite people are getting paid. Let's hope.
You mean taxpayers?
At least half of that $14 billion gets where it's supposed to go.
At least half? All of it. All of it's going there. Dumb.
One of the things that this war in Ukraine...
Okay, and again, what's that? Let's hope at least half of that gets where it's going. What is the insinuation there, Rob Schitt? Where is the skimming supposedly happening? What are you alleging? That the DOD is skimming? That some of our military members are skimming? What's your assertion there? What the fuck does that snide little weird comment about the money that's supposed to go to Ukraine mean? Honestly,
done over the last 3 weeks is skyrocket energy prices.
Something bizarre is happening.
All sorts of...
You mean oil prices are going down because production is going up?
Energy prices. The price of oil had been rising.
What do dropping oil prices mean? Gas prices are going down?
Throughout Biden's first year in office, it had almost doubled at one point before this all happened.
Yeah, because people hadn't been driving, and then they started driving again.
Ukraine dramatically exacerbated a problem that we already had. But in recent days, something very bizarre has happened, something that makes almost no sense whatsoever in this climate. The price of crude oil has absolutely plummeted. Check out this chart. A week ago, you can see right here, 127, 123.
Fuck, man. Really? Really? You guys are using ceiling mics on this fuckhead? I mean, it's not because his lapel mic's on his right lapel and he's turned around. Hey, shit, we're losing you.
Brent and WTI versus today, both of those down below $100.
Good.
It's a real head scratcher, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
The situation really hasn't changed. At least it doesn't
The volume is going up. Everybody's producing more.
seem like it has.
We're producing more. By the way, here's one of the reasons, Rob shit, if you want to know, is because the deal that Trump made with the UAE and Russia to produce less, and Mexico and the United States, our people were under contract to produce less oil. That ended 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that cap is gone. So Mexico can go back to producing as much as it fucking wants. And we are too.
But it's not really, if you really think about it.
No, if you really think about it. I mean, if you Glenn Beck the pieces together, Rob has a chalkboard in his office from 20 years ago.
An economic downturn is now in the cards, potentially a recession, a huge economic slowdown that could be quite damaging in this.
Yes, especially if oil prices go down and transportation gets cheaper.
Country and around the world. The cause of which would be quite easy to identify, and that, of course, would be rampant inflation. And regardless of
yeah, but that's supply shock-based inflation. It's not monetary inflation.
spin, which this White House performs shamelessly almost all the time at this point, we all know who would be at fault for that. Former Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton and Obama economic advisor Lawrence Summers makes it plainly clear.
This is a grave problem. The president was wrong to blame this month's number on Ukraine. Everybody had been expecting from the time before Putin launched the invasion that inflation was going to accelerate from January to February.
No, they didn't.
This is a consequence fundamentally of an overheated economy.
Sorry, an overheated economy. Rob, Booby. Overheated economy means it's too much. There's too much money in the system. People are buying too much stuff. They don't mind. They're willing to pay more. They have more money than the price of the goods. So you could drive the price of the goods up because it's overheated. But it's because of supply shock over the world. Americans have more money than other people do, so the stuff is coming here. Good Lord. Overheated, by the way, because according to Larry Summers, once we get below 4% unemployment, that gets into dangerous territory.
That's a Democrat.
Right. Why didn't you finish the rest of what he was saying? Why just stop at overheated? What does overheated mean? Does that mean is that the kind of recession where, oh shit, there's no goods, there's no available stuff? That kind of recession? No. This is a direct result of the collapse under COVID and the resurgence coming back. It's overheated, and the Fed is making monetary decisions as if it's a monetary version of inflation, and it ain't.
So what happened to the economy? Well, to make it easy, your government decided to dramatically overreact to COVID-19, and
yeah, that's what it is. They overreacted. They should have just let 40 million small businesses collapse
and print off ungodly amounts of money,
which they didn't do,
and create more government and more entitlements, which of course
they didn't do.
They love to do.
Well, then, if they love to do it, then why did the tax credit go away?
For the sake of protecting the people in an emergency. They handed out...
Yeah, people in an emergency. Fuck those people. They shouldn't have been downwind.
Trillions of dollars, while our economy...
No, they did not.
...effectively shut down.
Yes. They released into people's hands trillions of dollars because they couldn't get it any other way, and food costs money, fucko.
Tons of that money was completely wasted, as it always is when government gets their hands on money. They didn't care. It's not their money. They never care when you're...
Yeah, they don't care. Guys, they don't care. I mean, when Trump didn't care, And then people came in and they started caring, and now the Biden administration has put together a task force to go after COVID fraud, like PPP fraud and that kind of stuff. But never mind.
It's wasted. And then inflation exploded. And now, when asked about their culpability for inflation that'll no doubt lead to some kind of economic downturn, they get really defensive. Politicians get this way when they're guilty.
Or when you're being an asshole.
Watch how pissed off Joe Biden is.
I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
The government spending is doing the exact reverse, reducing the national debt. It is not inflationary.
They're angry.
Well, no, he's motivating people to be able to stand up and tell the truth because they're kind of cowering about the conversation. That was a speech to the Democrats
Because they want more money and more power and more spending, and they want to be able to do it without any repercussions. And they really, really, really want Build Back Better, right? That was the big gem.
Well, no, the infrastructure bill was the big gem, along with the rescue package, which had a shit ton of stuff in it. Build Back Better will be nice, and they'll eventually get it, more than likely piecemeal and other stuff. But
got their little infrastructure one, but not enough of their people got their goodies out of that one. They want the big one. They want the $5 trillion.
That wasn't $5 trillion. The combination of all of them initially was $5 trillion, and eventually comes down to like 1.6. Right, and majority of it was the infrastructure bill.
Untold amounts of money.
Yeah, they don't print money. That's not how it works.
And create so much government, they'll be regulating how many times a day you go to the bathroom. That's what they...
No. I wish they did, honestly. I wish they had like a little governor on me that I could, like, well, I'm over quota.
But reality is about to walk in and slap these clowns right across the face.
Is it? Reality's tough that way. It's kind of like... It's like Rob shit.
Janet Yellen is the Treasury Secretary in this country.
Look at this. They are wrong. The reality check is going to hurt.
Despite her financial background and prowess, she used to lead the Fed. She's been a primary enabler of this spending insanity, saying, don't worry. This inflation that we're seeing right now, it's not going to lead to a recession. Take a listen.
We've got a good, strong economy with an excellent outlook for the labor market and real activity going forward. Inflation is a problem, and it's one that we need to address, but I don't expect a recession in the United States.
Right. And?
You should feel better. The Treasury Secretary doesn't expect a recession. Oh, okay, well, we feel better now.
Yeah, she's not doing that out of just pure reassurance, dum-dum. She's doing it because it's based on the numbers, the actual strength of the economy. And why the inflation occurred is because of COVID, not because of a lapse in monetary policy or a particular shift in spending over time.
Obviously, this is a highly educated woman, well-versed in economic issues.
And Rob isn't.
But she's much better at politics. Left-wing politics. Here's Yellen just 6 months ago claiming that Build Back Better would be anti-inflationary.
Right.
Yes. Treasury Secretary saying that printing and spending maybe $5 trillion more in this country would actually help to ease inflation.
Yeah, that's not how it works. They're not printing and spending $5 trillion for Build Back Better. That's not how that works. It pays for itself. It zeroes it out.
For many American families experiencing inflation, seeing the prices of gas and other things that they buy rise, what this package will do is lower some of the most important costs, what they pay for health care, for child care, and it's anti-inflationary in that sense as well.
It's anti-inflationary.
By the way, do you think Rob's just angry that he's as dumb as he is? Is that what he's... Because look how pissed this asshole is. Do you think he's just... Like, he just hears the amount of money they're discussing and is like, I'm in this stupid fucking set.
Janet Yellen was installed as head of the Federal Reserve by Obama and then relieved of her duties by Trump.
Relieved of her duties.
Comments like Janet Yellen's right there should make you very nervous.
Why?
People have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
Yes, they do.
To this country, or they simply don't care.
Yeah, probably that. Probably just like, I don't care. They probably just go into work going, I don't care. I don't even know why I'm fucking here.
Purely political talking points from...
Yeah, they're just they get a fax every morning of what they're supposed to say. They go and say it, and then they go have a nice shrimp dinner and go, what are you doing today? I don't know. I didn't even do it. I don't even, whatever it is, I'm bored.
Somebody that knows better. Janet Yellen was not named the Treasury Secretary for Biden because she's an economic savant. She got the job because she was willing to go on national TV and say things that nobody with a shred of economic sense could ever, in their wildest dreams, believe to be true. Well, printing trillions of dollars and spending...
Oh, the printing trillions of dollars. They don't print trillions of dollars. Not how it works.
It won't increase inflation?
No, it's because... you're the one saying they're printing trillions of dollars to do this. They aren't. That's not how it works. This is the direction of funds. Especially the Build Back Better part, which pays for itself. It's already paid for. They don't add any money to the deficit. There's no money printed for this purpose. None of it. It's not how it works. It's not even how the fucking Fed works.
She fully endorsed the nonsensical agenda of the Democrat Party. Of course it's not going to increase inflation. It's going to make it go down. We're
right.
Print all of this money.
We're not printing money.
And just dump it out.
That's not how it works either.
And money will be worth more.
Yeah, in that case, if you were just printing money and dumping it out, if you try that from your garage, you're going to jail, dum-dum. But that's not how it works.
After we do that. $5 trillion. We're going to rain trillions of dollars down on this country.
No, they aren't.
And the money that you have in your pocket is going to be worth more after we do that.
Yeah, you keep saying that as if this is actually what's happening.
That's
dead air, Rob. Dead air, you dum-dum. Are you really trying to fill this up with just by standing by a graphic?
Treasury Secretary.
Right. She knows what she's talking about. You, however, are a dum-dum.
February's inflation, 7.9%. 4 months after Janet Yellen made that statement.
Brutal. It's almost like it's still timed with the end of COVID before everybody was vaccinated. And then we still have to live through the downturn that happened around Delta. And, yeah.
And these people keep their jobs.
They might keep their jobs. They do it. It's unbelievable.
Oh, can you imagine?
I can't imagine. If I could do math, I wouldn't be here.
Can you imagine being this bad at your job and you just keep getting elevated?
Yeah, it's so terrible at their job. We have 3.6% unemployment. Wages are rising. The literally year-over-year inflation is caused by COVID.
This is happening all over the government.
Isn't it?
Just another shocking example of an administration that is utterly incompetent and playing with so much fire.
Yeah, so much fire. Here it comes. What's the other area where they're spending like crazy?
People like Janet Yellen.
Janet Yellen?
Just like Janet Yellen.
You can't put a woman in charge of this stuff.
Are working right now to prevent World War III with Russia. How's your confidence level? They're
good.
About to sign a nuclear arms deal with Iran. Does that sound smart?
Yes. It was working before until Trump scuttled it.
We want to end American energy production to save us from climate change even...
Yeah, no, they don't. Again, Biden has given out 34% more leases in his first year than Trump did in his first year. 3,326 in total. Trump gave out just over 2,000. Fuck you. There are 9,000 unused oil and gas leases in the United States. Oil production has nothing to do with the government allowing it to happen.
They have no...
By the way, it's going up, and that's why the price is going down. And a moratorium, and literally paying oil companies not to produce, which is what Trump did with Mexico and U.S. providers in a deal with Russia and Saudi Arabia, it just ended.
Alternatives ready to go. They say climate change is going to destroy the world very soon. It might not do it before they do.
Really, that's the tail end of it? That's your zinger? That's it, dum-dum? How many times do they literally... We've just watched a man snark his way through a news segment. They call themselves Newsmax. I couldn't get away with that. I couldn't not reference the fuck I'm talking about or play a obviously edited clip to reinforce some sort of like aha that I have. Other people do it, but fuck those people. They're cheaters and liars. I'm not going to do it. And the fact that Newsmax can just do that and go, yeah, that was sweet. Good job, Rob. Wrap it. We'll go to commercial, come back after that, and we'll go to fucking Ted Nugent's on the line. Jesus Christ.